You can do homework or work there, grab some food, and also the best ice cream on campus, all in one place.
Hello, my name is Paola Torres, she, her, ella pronouns, and I am also currently a second year here at the program. My graduate assistantship is with Clemson Homes, so I'm a graduate community director at Holmes and McCabe. And something that I enjoy doing while being here at Clemson is visiting the botanical gardens. The garden is just really big. It has a lot of flowers during the springtime, and it's a little escape from reality and just Clemson itself.
And I know I introduced myself at the beginning of the call, but I know we had a few more folks join, and so I just want to reintroduce myself one more time. Again, my name is Erika Forslund. I use she, her pronouns, and my graduate assistantship is in the Academic Success Center, specifically with our advising and coaching team. And my favorite place on campus is definitely Core Campus. It has a lot of great food over there, and I'm a huge foodie, so I love to get Starbucks or get Canes during classes and different things like that. But it's also just a really pretty part of our campus too. And so we are going to be your virtual tour guides for tonight, and we are so excited to talk to you a little bit more about Clemson's campus and its structure and as well as its history. And now I'm going to pass it on.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and begin with the land acknowledgement. So as you can see, we have provided the barcode, which will take you directly to Decolonize Clemson, which goes into further detail about the acknowledgement in remembrance of the histories and violence of the Indigenous and Black claims to life and land. So we acknowledge that the main campus of Clemson University occupies the traditional and ancestral land of the Cherokee people. Clemson's main campus is built on land seized through the U.S. military and diplomatic incursions, culminating in the Treaty of DeWitt's Corner in 1777. This is also land on which people enslaved by the Pickens, Clemson, and Calhoun families lived and worked, and that was transformed into the campus of Clemson University through convict labor. We also recognize that most of us may not be on Clemson's campus at the time. So again, we invite you all to use the QR code to scan and learn more about the land that you are currently living on or attending from the session tonight.
Awesome. And so I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about the structure of our campus and kind of how things are laid out before we dive into our tour. And so Clemson's campus is actually really simple to navigate if you think of it like a bullseye. And so we have our academic buildings in the center with our campus resources and residence halls kind of in that middle circle. And then on the outer perimeter of campus are our athletic facilities. And so if you think of it that way, it can be really easy to navigate. And so our library is at the center of campus, and then our athletic facilities and campus resources kind of surround the rest of our academic buildings, which is really helpful when you are new to campus. I remember when I was new to campus for the first time, thinking of it this way really helped me. Additionally, just some fun facts about our campus. We are a college town with approximately 20,868 students. Clemson's campus is located on Lake Hartwell in Clemson, South Carolina, and we are located just off the streets of downtown Clemson in the city of Clemson. And so again, we're a small town, but we are a big school. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds with that small town feel, but being at a big D1, R1 institution.
So next, we're going to touch on a little bit of Clemson's history. So Clemson was founded in 1889 by Thomas Green Clemson. He left his home and his fortune to the state of South Carolina to create an institution. In 1889, the governor of South Carolina, John Peter Richardson, signed a bill accepting Clemson's gift, which established Clemson Agricultural College and granted the Morrill Act and the Hatch Act funds. The Morrill Act and Hatch Act make us a land-grant institution, which essentially was funds to develop an agriculture school for an agriculture education. And so just a little bit more on Clemson's history. Clemson Agricultural College opened in July of 1893 with 446 students as an all-male, all-white military school. Clemson became coeducational in 1955. In 1963, with the admission of Harvey Gantt, Clemson became the first traditionally white institution in South Carolina to desegregate since Reconstruction. Then finally, in 1964, Clemson obtained university status. This is just some of the history of Clemson. There's a lot of history of Clemson. There's good history, there's bad history, but that's anywhere. So we definitely encourage you to do research, look at our website. We have a great campus, and we definitely encourage you to look that up for yourself.
Awesome. And so now, y'all, we are going to, oh, give me 1 second to go back here. There we go. We are now going to dive into our virtual tour. And so we are going to be using virtual reality tonight for y'all to engage with the tour with us. And so if you scan this QR code on your screen, it's actually going to pull up 360 pictures of our campus that you can engage with on your cell phone or on another device. And then Mickayla is also going to put the link to the virtual tour in the chat as well. So that way you'll have it to connect that way too. And I'm going to switch screens for us really quickly so that way we can get started with our tour. But just take a second and try to scan that QR code and let us know if you need any help getting connected to the virtual tour before we get started. So I'll just give everyone a second to go ahead and scan. If you want to give me a thumbs up, either with the reactions button or just a thumbs up with your hand works as well. Or if you want to check the yes button just to let us know that you're connected to the tour, that would be great also. And if anyone is seeing anything pop in the chat, I'm not able to see the chat right now. So if folks could let me know if there's any questions in the chat, that would be great. Is everyone connected?
Could you send the link in the chat so it's easy to like copy and paste?
Yes, I am just pulling it up super quick.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Mickayla. We love a good Zoom link and a good chat link. Alrighty. I have a feeling everyone may be connected now. Does anyone need more time to scan the QR code? Okay, awesome. Give me 1 second to switch screens for y'all. All right, y'all. And so as we're navigating the tour today, there are some buttons if you do have the tour pulled up on another device that you can engage with as well. As you're engaging with the tour on your device, you can scroll to different parts to really get that 360 view of Clemson's campus. So you can scroll all the way around to see different parts of our campus as we go to different spots on the tour. And then we do have navigation built into the tour as well. So as we walk through Clemson's campus today, you can click the circle buttons so that way you can go to the next stop on the tour with us as well. And if it's not working on your device, that's okay, because I'm sharing screen right now and we can all work through the tour together as well. And I did see something pop up in the chat. I'm unable to see it right now. Could somebody let me know what was just popped into the chat?
The link.
Oh, it was just a link. Okay, perfect. Just making sure that we didn't have any questions or anything. And if you do have questions throughout the tour, feel free to put those in the chat too, and we'll definitely answer those at the end. But we are going to officially start our tour at Cooper Library. So this is Library Bridge. This is one of the most fun places to be on campus for sure. This is where a lot of our undergraduate students will do tabling for events, but it's also the main access to our library as well. Our library is 6 floors, and the lower that you go, the quieter it gets. So it's a really great place to study. Inside our library is also our Adobe Studio, in addition to a Starbucks location as well. That is one of the 3 Starbucks locations on Clemson's campus. Next to the library is the Reflection Pond, which is a wonderful place to go on Clemson's campus. There's lots of tables that are socially distanced right now, so students can wear masks and go and relax and sit by the reflection pond and study. It has a beautiful view of kind of the center of Clemson's campus as well, so this is a great spot to kind of start our tour, like I said, at the center of campus. And kind of next to the library here, you can kind of see some other buildings as well, but Library Bridge and the Reflection Pond are great. We actually, as grads, have full access to the library too, and so to put our tour together today, we were able to rent equipment from the Cooper Library to put this together for y'all tonight. And so definitely, if you do decide to come to Clemson, Cooper Library is a great resource for you to use as for research for all of your grad classes, but also for any projects or different things that you might have as well. And so that is a little bit of information about Cooper Library. The next spot on our tour, and like I said, you can press those navigation buttons to get to the next stops on our tour, is the Watt Innovation Center. The Watt Innovation Center is one of the newer buildings on Clemson's campus, which is really exciting. This building is really great. It has lots of different classrooms for students and study spaces for students to use. One of the most unique things about the Watt Innovation Center, it's the most tech-savvy building on our campus. And so at the front of the Watt Innovation Center is a giant LED board that you can advertise programs or events on campus. And so usually this light is really lit up and you can see different events. So when we have new student orientation or things going on in different residence halls, you can see that information pop up on this LED board. So when grads plan different programs and different things, you know that your event has made it if it is on the Watt Center board. And so that is definitely something cool to remember about the Watt Innovation Center. It also has some great food in there as well. There's a little market where you can grab a snack in between classes. And it's also a place where lots of faculty have meetings on campus too as well. And so that is a little bit about the Watt Innovation Center. And our next spot on the tour, so you can see we were just at Cooper Library, which is right next to the Watt Innovation Center, is the Academic Success Center. And I will say this is the building that I get to work for and get to work in. And so this is a fantastic building as well. In the ASC, we have tutoring for students, we have academic coaching for students, lots of great resources in there, as well as lots of classrooms, the writing center, and different study spaces for students to use too. So lots of different spaces that you can go and engage with in the Academic Success Center. It is a fantastic place to just go to and enjoy, but also lots of great resources for undergraduate students. So we as grads are always promoting the ASC for students and encouraging them to use it. They have lots of different resources for students to succeed. They support every major, every GPA, and every student. And there's fantastic teams that work in there as well. And so definitely you can learn more about the ASC by going to clemson.edu/ASC, but they have fantastic resources. They support tutoring for almost over 100 courses, PAL for almost 16 courses, and our undergraduate students, you know, this is also a place of employment for undergrad students who serve as PAL leaders, tutors, and peer success leaders as well. So another great place on our campus.
So next we are in the Horseshoe. The Horseshoe is home to a couple different things. So to your right, you guys can see Shaletter Dining Hall. Dining hall is one dining we have on campus. So if you like pizza, it's a really great place to grab lunch between work and classes. So the tall buildings that you see to your right and the lower buildings to your left, those are all residence halls. We have Burns, Lever, Malden, Barrett Hall, and Manning Hall, which are all residence halls on campus. And then back behind us We do have Vickery Hall. Vickery Hall is my home, and that's where first year academic programs is located. Undergraduate studies is also there. The Clemson Testing Center is located in Vickery Hall as well. So is military and veteran engagement and Bridge to Clemson. So the horseshoe, the reason it's called a horseshoe, because ultimately it's just a horseshoe shaped parking lot with a bunch of different buildings to the side. And we can move to Hendrix. Awesome. So Hendrix is the student center on campus. So there's a lot of cool places to hang out in Hendrix, but there's also a lot of really cool places to eat. So there's Panda Express, Subway, Einstein Bagels. There's also 55 Exchange ice cream shop that Lau talked about in her introduction. The ice cream in 55 Exchange is made in Clemson from Clemson products. It's really, really good ice cream. I definitely encourage you guys, if you choose to Clemson or ever have the opportunity to come to campus, to definitely have some 55 Exchange ice cream. Also in Hendrix Student Center, there is McKissick Theater, and that's just a theater or like a movie theater for students on campus. There's also a lot of meeting spaces, ballroom spaces. So those are great places for students to hang out with their organization and have organization meetings, or if you have a really big meeting or a project, that's a really good place to go. Also, we have a couple offices in Hendrix. We have the Michelin Career Center, and we have Tiger One ID Services, and we also have the Office of Advocacy and Success. So again, Hendrix Student Center is just a really good hub for students to hang out on campus.
So here we have Douthat Hills, which is one of the newest residential communities and hub at Clemson. The community hub is located in the center of Douthat Hills, and in the first floor you have Barnes & Noble, Starbucks, and the Fresh Market. On the second floor you have the Recreation Center, which also has lockers, showers, and they hold F45 classes as well. And on the third floor, you have the hub, which is the place where you can go in and dine, eat smokehouse barbecue, fusion cafe, pizza, and other things. And Douthat Hills is home to Douthat West and Douthat East, which are two residential buildings. So Douthat West is to the left and Douthat East is to the right. And again, Douthat West houses upperclassmen, primarily second year students, and Douthat East houses first year students. So we're gonna go ahead and head over to Douthat West, which is right there. So as mentioned before, Douthat West is an apartment style residential space. And Douthat East is a co-ed residential community with private rooms, which essentially are 2 rooms per apartment. And again, Douthat West consists of Douthat A, B, C, and D. And again, a lot of our communities do have LLCs, so we are very LLC heavy, maybe like 2 per building. So it depends.
So next, we're at the Wilbur O. and Ann Powers College of Business. This is the brand new College of Business here at Clemson. It was just opened in 2020, like a couple months ago. Like, this is brand new. It is home to our 5,517 College of Business students at Clemson. It has a lot of office spaces, a small auditorium space, and houses all the classrooms for the College of Business.
The next building that we are going to visit is called Sykes Hall. Sykes is an administrative building, and you can find the register office, enrollment services, student financial services, admissions. It also includes the offices of the president, the provost, the vice president for student affairs. It's easily located in the outer perimeter of campus, very close to Clemson downtown. Now we're gonna go to one of our favorite spots. This is Old Main. It's the most famous building. It's a 3-story building with a clock tower that overlooks Beaumont Field. We're gonna go there in a couple of minutes. And on the right side of the building, there is an auditorium with capacity for about 700 seats. It was formerly used as the campus chapel a long time ago. And now is the home of the College of Education. So hopefully that is where y'all gonna have classes, and we miss it very much. You can find also the Education Media Center, that is like a small library, mainly for everything related with education, and faculty offices, classrooms, and also the Air Force offices. Right across the street from Old Main, there is another important building. It's called Brackett Hall, and it's one of the busiest buildings during an academic year. The first floor offers study spaces with computers. So besides the classrooms, and the building is usually filled with students during an academic year. They stay there studying, they're doing homework. It also includes faculty offices, and on the 3rd floor is the Gantt Multicultural Center.
And so like we said at the beginning of the tour, we also want to take a moment to acknowledge Clemson's history. So Clemson is on land that was previously a plantation before becoming Clemson University. And so this is the Fort Hill House, which is the home of John C. Calhoun, who was the owner of the land prior to it becoming Clemson University. When the land was originally installed, prior to becoming Clemson University, the land was previously a plantation owned by John C. Calhoun, and his home still remains on our campus today. When John Calhoun died, his wife became the sole owner of the land, but upon her passing, Anna Calhoun, who married Thomas Green Clemson, became the owner of the land, and Anna gave 3/4 of the land when she died, with the condition that it would become Clemson University. Thomas Green Clemson was a slave owner, and Clemson University would not be standing today without the work of the slaves who served on this plantation, and without the work of the enslaved people that worked on this plantation. And so it's very important to acknowledge Clemson's history and think about it with a critical lens. In our program, we acknowledge the history of Clemson, we view it with a critical lens, and we talk about ways that we can cultivate a sense of belonging for all students on our campus. We invite you to ask questions of Clemson's history with your hosts and folks, as well as the faculty here on campus, to learn more about Clemson's history. We, again, are committed in this program to anti-racist work and having those conversations and making sure that we are creating spaces for our students, but we also want to acknowledge that this history exists, and that we would not be in this program today or getting our master's degrees today without the work of the enslaved people of color who worked on Clemson's campus. And so Mickayla is about to drop some links in the Google chat as well. One is going to be just about Fort Hill's history in general, but another thing I want to bring about with the Fort Hill House is also the work of Dr. Rhonda Thomas. Dr. Rhonda Thomas leads the Call My Name tour every year at Clemson, and has dedicated her work and scholarly work to reading more and engaging more and writing about the history of Clemson and telling the stories of those who were on Clemson's land before its students were. And so several grads have attended the tour and also helped with the tour in the past. And so that tour can give you more information about Clemson's history. We actually have that coming up in a few weeks here on our campus for grads and really the whole campus community to engage with. And so Mickayla is also going to drop a link into the chat for you to learn more about Dr. Rhonda Thomas's work as well. She is an amazing person who has dedicated, like I said, her scholarly work to telling the stories of the enslaved people of color that worked on Clemson's campus prior to us becoming Clemson University. So we definitely encourage you to engage in conversations with your folks about Clemson history, engage with the faculty about Clemson's history, do your own research on your own as well. And if you have questions about Clemson's history, we are happy to answer those as well. And again, we did just want to bring attention to the history that Clemson's land is on today. As like I said, in this program, we are very committed to having these conversations, engaging in anti-racist work, and having conversations about how Clemson can continue to acknowledge its history, but also move forward. And so, yeah, Mickayla, thank you so much for dropping those links in there. And to Bowman Field, which is the next spot on our
Okay, so we are back. I mentioned before the Bowman Field. Right now it's a little dry because of the winter, but during the is very green and beautiful. And sometimes they paint a little cute paw, ginormous paw on the grass too. Right there, you can see Mickayla's background. So it's a very well-known spot on campus, and for many years, this field has been used for athletic competition, military drills, relaxing under the brilliant sun of South Carolina sunshine, homecoming activities, fraternity and sororities activities, or for playing intramural sports. It is currently the central location for leisure activities for students. And normally from Monday to Sunday, you will probably see students hanging out on Bowman Field. No, we did not take this picture at 6 a.m. It was weird that we don't have students there.
So this is Mel Hall right next to Bowman Field. It is a primary office for residential living and residential learning. In this office, you will find the administrative assistants, assistant directors, and residential learning GAs. So community directors and GCDs, so graduate community directors, their offices are located in their communities spread throughout campus. Graduate assistants that are part of residential living are typically working directly in the community and supervise RAs. And residential learning GA's work is centered on the development of residential curriculum, recruitment and selection, residence hall association, and more. Again, Mel Hall is located right next to downtown. So as you can see right there, and you can cross the street within minutes, and you can find yourself next to restaurants or grabbing ice cream to go, cookies, whatever you'd like. So now we're gonna go ahead and go to the Greek quad. So right here you can find the quad houses that consists of a total of 24 Greek organizations between the seven quad buildings and Smith and Barnett and Bryan Mall located in the Horseshoe. Currently, there are 22 organizations living in the fraternity, sorority, housing, and 2 that are on their way through the application and charter process, which will make it 23 organizations in the incoming fall semester of 2021 and 24 organizations in the fall semester of 2022. So next up is Norris Hall, which is right in the quad. So there you go. They also house sororities, but that first floor is the office for fraternity sorority life, and its affiliates to the director of FSL, an assistant dean, the FSH faculty in residence, and coordinator for fraternity and sorority housing. Fraternity and sorority life graduate assistants and fraternity sorority housing GAs share an office in Norris between the 5 of them in non-COVID times, referred to as the grad pad. So across from Norris, you can find Core Campus, which is right there. Core Campus, you can find again the Honor Residential College, which is a suite style community. Crib Hall and DeChamps Hall are located in the HRC, and the Honors Residential College is only open for the students in the Honors College. And the HRC aims to provide a smaller environment through the implementation of events, lectures, and programs to enrich the experience of the students. Gresset Hall, which is right down on the other side, is a traditional style community as well. So fresh food is at the center of Core. It has various food options such as the grill. So they serve burgers, fries, hot dogs, and we also have a salad bar in there, pizza. We have sushi rolls at times and sandwiches. So again, it's basically a buffet style dining hall. And other restaurants or food options located in Core Hall are Cane's, Starbucks right there in the corner, and Which Twisted Taco, and another grab and go market that has snacks and drinks. And lastly, to the left is Holmes and McCabe Residential Hall. That's a suite style community.
Okay, now we wanted to show you Serene Hall. They just moved things around when they opened the new College of Business building. The Serene Hall was considered the largest academic building on campus, and they have some of the business offices and the College of Engineering were located in there. Now is the home of the Center for Students Leadership and Engagement, and that's what we know for now. We're gonna know after things get back to a little more normal, but we wanted to show you Serene Hall in the process of moving offices in.
So next we're at Fike Recreation Center. The Swan Fitness Center is located within Fike. Fike is 15,000 square feet of fitness equipment. So there's cardio equipment, strength equipment, treadmills, stair climbers, dumbbells, all you can think of. There's also indoor running tracks, walking tracks, basketball courts, racquetball courts. There's fitness studios, so you can take fitness classes. There's an indoor pool, sauna, and a climbing wall. So there's a lot of really cool things in Fike. Fike is also home to our Healthy Campus office and our Aspire to Be Well offices.
And last but certainly not least, we have Clemson Memorial Stadium, otherwise known as Death Valley, which is the home of Clemson football. Here in Clemson, South Carolina, we love our football. It is one of the biggest parts of Clemson's culture, and it's a huge part of the history of the institution as well. Right here in this end zone, you can see Howard's Rock. That is the home of the most 25 exciting seconds in college football, where our football team is known for taking their buses and running down the hill with Dabo Sweeney right before a big game on a Saturday afternoon or evening, ready to battle for another championship win or just another regular season game. We don't talk about the championship this year, but we have won a few championships in the past. And also, this also brings up the idea of student tickets as well. And so as graduate students, you are able to attend attend games as a student as well. There's a couple different ways you can go about getting tickets for games. You can pay to be a member of IPTE, which is kind of a donor program that athletics has, and you pay a fee at the beginning of the year, and then you have certain chances of getting tickets to certain games. Or you can just do the free lottery, which is what I did when I was a Clemson student, and that really worked for me. I was able to go to a lot of different games, and you can also trade tickets as well, and go with different grads who are going and coordinate that as well. But students can sit in the upper or the lower deck or on the hill and enjoy the game. And so those are all great ways to enjoy Clemson football. But also, if you're not a football person, that's okay. I was not a football person before coming to Clemson. So you definitely do not have to be into football completely to come to Clemson. It's just a big part of our institution and a big part of the institution's culture. But you can also just watch the game on TV, which is what I did a lot this year with with COVID and everything. So it's really challenge by choice with how you want to engage with football. And you can go to Clemson's athletics website to learn more about student tickets and kind of how that process has worked everything this year and everything like that. But that is just our last stop on the tour to kind of show, we're proud to be Tigers and we're proud to be Clemson students. And so this is where all of that tradition happens. And so definitely we encourage you to learn more about Clemson football if you want to do so. But also, if football is not your thing, that's okay too. Like we said, I think all of us on this call have had different experiences with Clemson football. Some of us came from football schools, some of us did not come from football schools. But definitely another great place on Clemson's campus to explore as well. And that is our final stop on the virtual 360 tour. So if you want to X out of the tour on your device, you certainly can. Virtual tour guides, I am going to stop sharing and get us back to our presentation and everything. So just give me 1 second. But does anybody have any questions about the virtual tour?
So,
Yeah, I have a question. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Deja Kenyon. I'm a senior communications from UNC Greensboro. And my question is, I can see that it looks like Clemson's campus is pretty big. How long would you say it would take to get from one side of campus all the way to the other side of campus?
I can take that one because I lived in Calhoun Courts. That's a apartment style community, and I had to walk all the way to Core, which is on the other side of campus. For me, it took me like 15 minutes. I think it also depends on like your pace. Clemson is it has a lot of hills, so I think at least I definitely got tired walking from one side of the campus to the other. But all in all, I would say 15 minutes. If you're really taking your time, maybe 20, but I would say like 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and it's also a little hilly too.
Literally, y'all, Clemson's motto is like, there's something in these hills, and that something in these hills is going up the hills. So that's definitely a place that we're trying to improve on from an accessibility standpoint and everything. But I would say, like other grads on the call have said, it usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes to walk from one side to the other. But also, like I said, if you remember that bullseye effect, you can also find the shortcuts to get places too. And I will say specifically with our program, like if you work in core, you do not have to go far to get to Old Main. And if you work in the ASC, you do not have to go far to get to Serene or the library. And so you do find like those places that work for you to get to. And also we have the CAT bus that goes through campus, as well as the Tiger Transit, which also goes through campus. So there are buses that go through campus too. So if you need to get to your the park and ride or different things like that, you can take the bus to get to your car too. Any other questions, or what other questions about the tour can we answer before we start wrapping up our presentation?
yes, Des Woods, 2020 graduate of UNC Pembroke. A question I had was, so no, I'm not gonna say it's a secret. I'm really interested in Clemson Home. So the question is for housing. Is housing separated into clusters? So is there like a first year side of campus, sophomore, junior, senior? Or are they just all a little bit everywhere? Because I know like you were saying, like I don't know how to say donut, do it, or something hall was like brand new or something. So I don't know if like they were just a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, so for Clemson Home, so if, like, for example, you were to be a GCD, you would be placed in a specific community. That community can either have first years or upperclassmen. I think it really just depends where you're placed, because each community is different. So again, we have like our apartment styles; those are primarily upperclassmen. Um, am I answering your question, or is that not the question you asked?
It's answering the question, but I was just wondering like, and this is just sort of kind of just like a trivial question, just like how is housing spread out around campus? Like, is it like
Okay.
first year dorms are in one section, sophomores, seniors, and another section are just all a little bit spread out everywhere, just because I guess stuff grows.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Clemson housing is. It's spread everywhere. Like first year communities were on the west side of campus and on the east side of campus. And we also have like Bridge to Clemson, which they're in Lightsey Bridge, but it's like a farther community. So yeah, there it's basically spread out. We're also in the center of campus. So again, first year communities are in the center of campus. So it's everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome. And like I said, we'll have time at the end of the presentation for more questions as well. So if we didn't get to your question, definitely hang on to it. I promise that we will address it at the end. And now I'm going to hand it off to Lau to just kind of guide us through this driving tour as well.
We wanted to show you the perimeter around Clemson. There is literally a road called Perimeter Road because it lets you drive around Clemson. So these are like a quick view of what you can find around Clemson, like from outside, let's say. So those are athletic buildings like the soccer, tennis, Little John for basketball. That's a very famous restaurant as a club. And very nice people. And this is the training or the football facility, the new football facilities from the road. Then right behind that is the rowing dogs or the rowing house.
And so before we wrap up, we definitely want to take any questions that you might have. Feel free to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, or if you would like to, you can also use the chat as well. But myself, Paola, Mickayla, Lau, and all of the first years and second years are resources to you throughout this whole GARS process. So if you continue to have questions about Clemson's campus, please feel free to reach out to any of us on this call tonight, or your host or the faculty as well. We know that GARS looks a little different this year, but we wanted to give you as much of the on-campus experience as possible using virtual reality. Shout out to technology for letting us do that. But yeah, if you have any questions, we are happy to take those now.
Hi, I'm Megan Kaiser. I'm graduating from Lau University in Maryland. And I just had a question for off-campus housing. Are there, clusters of housing for students to obtain, rent and stuff like that close to campus?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I actually live downtown. I do not drive. That's something I just haven't gotten to yet in my life, but I'm working on it, friends. Anyway, I live like 10 minutes away from campus walking. So I live right downtown, which literally, depending on the way the traffic lights are, it could take you 10 minutes. It could also take you 5 minutes. So I live super close to campus. I'm happy to give you more information about where I specifically live, but there are multiple downtown apartments that are right by Clemson, literally right across the street from Bowman. Start some off-campus apartments, and it goes all the way down College Avenue. So I live further down the end of College Ave. And then I know that lots of other grads on this call live in surrounding communities as well that are accessible through the CAT bus and also driving distance as well. So there's plenty of off-campus apartments for graduate students and undergraduate students that are all nearby. And so you will find housing in Clemson for sure. So you will not need to like move to Greenville or anything to go to Clemson. And so there's plenty of off-campus housing nearby. And I'll actually drop a link in the chat when we're done, but there's a great website called Clemson Off Campus, and that can kind of show you all of the different apartments that are around. And then I know that the grads last year created a spreadsheet of housing of different places where people lived with different rent prices and everything. And so as we get closer to creating that spreadsheet for y'all, that will be a resource available to you too.
And one thing I'd like to add is, Clemson's a pretty small town. We are a college town, and you drive 10 minutes away and you're in the country. So I say that to say, if you live in downtown, you're going to have probably a $700-800 rent price, which in a lot of places is great. I fully support myself off my $12,000 stipend. So I live 5 minutes from campus and I pay $375 for rent, and I live in a very nice place. So I say that to say any budget you have, Clemson has a really great price of living. So you could live here or live anywhere for $400 or $500 a month and have a very great place to live near campus. Do we have any other questions?
Hi, yeah, I have a question. I'm Ashley. Hi, everybody. I was wondering about just like, I guess, like fun things like to do like in the town of Clemson, and also like, I guess like, because I know you said it's like a college town, so I was wondering like what like bigger like cities are like nearby, or like if you sort of like go other places like within South Carolina, or like I don't even know the geography, maybe it's also close to North Carolina. I'm not really sure.
It is.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So I'm from the area, so I know a lot of the cool spots. So in Clemson's very much an outdoorsy area. I don't know if Erika, Paola, and Lau agree, but the campus is on a lake, and so definitely, we have long summers here in South Carolina. It's pretty warm most of the year. So there's definitely the lake. If you drive 20 minutes up the road, you can be hiking in the mountains. So if you enjoy hiking, that's definitely something to do. We have the Clemson Botanical Gardens, which are really pretty. Students like to go to that. We do have downtown Clemson, which has a lot of really cool restaurants. Apparently, last weekend an axe throwing place opened up in downtown Clemson. I haven't been, but people say it's pretty cool. There's like a movie theater not far away. There's not tons of really like, we're not in a big city, so it's not like city life. So we don't have that luxury, but there's a lot of other really cool things to do in nearby cities. Greenville is about 30 minutes from us. Greenville is actually, I think, like in the top 5 for fastest growing places in the nation. It has a beautiful downtown. They have this park called Falls Park, and it has this beautiful waterfall. And it's a really cool place. I know a lot of the people in the program pre-COVID, we would all go and hang out and go to some restaurants there. But in Greenville, anything that you could normally do in a city, like all of the big shopping places, malls, like trampoline parks, Topgolf, all of that is there. We're about an hour and 10 minutes from Atlanta, Georgia. It's straight down the interstate, so it's a straight shot from us. Yeah, and so those are pretty much the closest places to us.
We also have Charlotte is 2 hours, and a lot of people can go to Hendersonville or Asheville for breweries or wineries, and that's like 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's not that bad of a drive. It's a great place to explore around with not a lot of driving. And Charleston is 5 hours away, I think so. No, 4.
Oh, and like fun theme parks. So like Carowinds, if you guys know what that is, that's about 2 hours away. Six Flags is in Atlanta, so about an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. And then Dollywood's about 3 hours. So if you like theme parks, they're pretty close by.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure.
What other questions can we answer? Well, y'all, those were some really great questions. Definitely keep asking questions throughout this whole GARS process. I know that was something that really helped me when I was a candidate coming through GARS. It really helped me get a better sense of like what a college town was, because I was coming from a city as well. And so I was like, what is a college town? How does that work? And so definitely asking those questions can be super helpful. And so definitely ask your FOS and ask, you know, the faculty as well. They've lived here for a while too, so they know fun things to do too. And yeah. Awesome, Des. Thank you for putting that in the chat. Yeah, y'all, of course, we want to give y'all the best GARS experience possible. I will just end with a few announcements. And so we do have more pre-weekend programming engagement going on this week. Even though you're only required to attend one social event, I think all of the grads on this call can agree that you'll benefit from attending any of these events and all of the ones that fit into your schedule. So building your CU-GARS interview toolkit is February 11th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you'll get some great interview tips there. So definitely go to that as well. Get to know Clemson in affinity spaces. That's going to be a great time on Saturday night from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And so that's going to be a great space to continue this conversation about learning about things to do in Clemson. What is Clemson like? What is the area like? And then also some affinity groups based off of social identities shared with grads that are currently in the program. And so those will be great events to attend to as well. We also have the alumni panel next week on February 16th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the faculty panel on February 17th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And if you scan this QR code, it's going to bring you right to the pre-weekend schedule and the CU-GARS official website. So you can definitely scan this code for more information too.
A super quick
Awesome.
question.
I see some. Yeah, go ahead.
So I had a question about the affinity space because I know like I have a couple identities. Like, are
Yeah.
they going to be like reasonably timed out, or would you have to like pick between two of the spaces?
That is a great question. I am going to defer to Colby if Colby is still on this call, because Colby has been great with all the logistics of the weekend and everything. I believe you will have the option to pick a few different ones, and then we will be rotating at 6. So you'll
Okay.
kind of get to pick between 2 different ones. And so from 5 to 6 is one section, and then from 6 to 7 is another session. So you'll be able to go to multiple. Colby, do I have that information correct?
Yep. That's correct, Erica. And I think, Des, that's a great question too. So if you're finding or anyone's finding that you want to be in more of those affinity spaces, I think that's a great question to work with your host to see if they can connect you with members of either the first year cohort or second year cohort to also share their experience and answer any questions that you might have. Did that help answer your question?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Colby. Did not mean to put you on the spot there. I just know that you have the schedule memorized and know how things are working. So, and last thing, y'all, if you could just take this quick survey. I know Mickayla just put a link in the chat. This just tells us how we can grow with building virtual tours and building virtual GARS. So if you could just fill out this completely anonymous survey, that would be great. You can also scan this QR code. It will take you directly to the survey as well. There will be a post assessment at the end of every pre-weekend event. And so definitely just make sure that you fill those assessments out for other events as well. It was so great to meet all of y'all tonight. We were so excited to share a little bit with you about Clemson's campus. Your virtual tour guides and myself, we will stay on the call and answer any questions that you might have. We know this is the first official CU-GARS event, and so definitely, stay excited and stay motivated. Good luck with your interviews. Take care of yourselves. But this is going to be a fantastic time. And as we say in Clemson, there is something in these hills, and go Tigers. Have a great night, everyone.
Mickayla, I just wanted to say hi because I know you're my host and I got your email and I didn't answer you yet, but I'm going to. So I just wanted to say hello.
So excited when I seen you in here. Yeah, feel free. I put my number in that email, so feel free to text me, call me, ask me any questions. And I'm so excited to get to meet you over these next couple weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna text you, so I will do that.
Okay.
Shortly. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
Bye.
Bye.
I did have a cool question. There was some confusion for me with signing up for CARS and sending in the application. So I haven't gotten any emails from my host. Should I be getting emails for that soon?
No, your host has, I think, until Friday to send out emails.
Okay.
I just on top of it, I had some extra time and I really wanted to meet her. So I sent it today. So I think they asked the current students to send it out by Friday. So if you don't think by Monday, I would reach out, but someone should be contacting you by Friday.
Okay. And then for the interviews, do you know when those, I already have conflicts with other schools with them doing interviews on the same day. So I know I'm going to have to like try and juggle that for the weekend.
So I believe that the interviews, I'm pulling up my calendar right now, are the 18th and 19th of next week. Those are both the interview days. And so you should be connecting, or employers should be connecting with you and CU-GARS leadership. You'll get more information about that at the opening ceremony next week about kind of how interviews are going to work, like from the employers directly. So I know when I was going through GARS, I definitely felt that because I was like, how does this work? And so you should be getting more information about that next week, and you can always reach out as well. And so once you do have your host, you can also reach out to your FOST. Once you reach out to your FOST, they can also give you a little bit more information about interview weekend. But I do know that February 18th and 19th are the days, and they're all completely virtual as well. And so definitely I would just keep those 2 days kind of blocked off on your calendar if you can. And like if you have conflicts with other schools, like I'm sure that is something that you can chat with GARS leadership about and kind of figure out a way for you to interview for as much as possible. And so I would just kind of wait to hear from your FOST and ask that question. And Colby, do you know kind of like from leadership who we could refer folks to? Awesome. Coming out early next week.
Yeah, I just put that email in the chat for you, Megan. But yeah, I would say the interview schedule should be coming out either later this week or possibly early next. It may be worth connecting with that email to maybe talk about sort of how you can make that interview day manageable with the many logistics that you might also be experiencing that day as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just wanted to try and get as much information as possible because I know I'm crazy busy with my senior year and trying to get all of this squared away. So I just wanted to make sure I have all the information. But thank you so much, guys, for the virtual tour and all the info tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great night, Megan.
You too. Goodbye. Thank you.
Great job, people. You are all amazing humans. I owe you all 55 exchange and Starbucks. I could not have done this without you. Thank you.
You already
so
said
much.
it.
I know, I already said it. And now I'm in North Carolina, but when I come back, we are having fun with masks on. I needed to come home. I was getting frustrated. Yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point. But y'all, we did great. I think that went so well.
Before you upload the video to YouTube, you may want to
stop recording.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Let me